Welcome to Rave Waves by the Book Show. I'm your guest host today, John Fioravanti, coming to you live from Waterloo, Ontario in Canada. Now, today's show is being sponsored by RISA, Rave Writers International Society of Authors, where only the best will do. If you'd like to know how to get your own commercial to air during one of our shows, just visit the Rave Waves tab on the RRBC website for more information. It's a fantastic way to promote your books. Now, joining us today from a small village outside Chicago called Madison, RRBC's May Member of the Month, author Linda Mims. Hi, Linda. Welcome.
Hi, John. Hi, everybody.
Listeners, if you have any questions or comments for Linda, I'll be opening the floor for those questions or comments throughout the show, and I'll let you know when that happens. Your mics will remain muted until that time. We ask that you please give us a little wave of your hand or two if you'd like to be recognized. And at that time, you'll be asked to unmute your mic. You may also access the chat function located at the bottom of your screen to type your questions or to comment to us. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little apology on that. I am really bad at following the chat. I don't know why, but I find controlling everything else. Where's my chat? There it is. Okay. Okay, well, thank you for joining us today, Linda. We're so delighted to get to know you a little better. Linda,
thank you for having me.
Okay, my first question to you is why Madison is referred to as a village?
That's a good question. When it started out, I believe it had fewer than 10,000 people. And I think that anything less than 10,000 was considered to be a village. By now it's grown, but we still call it the village.
Very nice.
Okay.
Now your bio states that you're a former high school teacher, high school administrator, a radio show co-host and announcer, as well as a public speaker. Like, wow, you've done a lot in your short lifetime.
Right.
If at all, did either of these career paths help shape you as a writer?
Oh, absolutely. All of them. First of all, being a teacher gave me the exposure to, let me explain that first. I worked in an inner city school district, and a lot of the children lived in poverty. A lot of them had never been away from the neighborhood. So just being with the children, being exposed to the lingo, meeting the parents, looking at kids who had no hopes, no aspirations, all of this helped in giving me material to write about. It was to inspire them, to motivate them. But yes, and then again, being an administrator really helped because I could go in and out of classrooms. I got to observe the really, really good teachers, what makes a good teacher, what makes a so-so teacher, how kids learn. So all of that really helped to inspire my writing.
Okay, thank you. Now, I understand that you removed your first and only book, The Neon Houses, from Amazon. Why did you take your book down, Linda?
For a lot of reasons. I had been struggling with the premise of the book. When I first started writing, I wanted it to be a young adult or maybe a new adult novel. But as I wrote it, I had a little bit of profanity, just a small amount of sex in it. And I thought, well, no, this can't be YA. But now with everything going on, I kind of want to take that focus back to YA. So I want to go in there and clean up and clean out some of that adult language. Also, I was a member of a critique group with other RRBC authors. And while they liked the book, they were still just a little bit helpful with some of the things that they saw going on. And one of the main things that all three of them observed was the way I handle dialogue. They wanted me to combine a lot of the paragraphs of dialogue because I had that habit of every time someone spoke, even if it was the same person speaking, I'd take it to a new paragraph. And so my critique partners were telling me, you don't have to do that, Linda. And sometimes it can get a little confusing. So I thought, I want to clean that up. And then finally, with what's going on today in the United States, I don't know where everybody else is, but here we've got all of the political stuff with Trump. We've got all of the Black Lives Matter. We've got a lot of things impacting society. And I thought I want to incorporate some of that into the book because when I wrote the book, Trump was just coming in and we didn't know what he was going to do and how things were, how he was going to open Pandora's box and change things. So I want to incorporate some of that as well. So that's why I took it down.
That sounds like a bunch of good reasons, Linda. Any idea when it'll return to Amazon?
Now that's a question because right now I'm working on the short story. I'm
Right.
working on book 2. And so I know that before I can even do book 2, I've got to tighten up book 1 and put book 1 back out there. So I'm going to say that I'm aiming for September. As soon as I get the short story done, I'm jumping right back into book 1. So I'm going to say about September.
Well, good luck with that. I hope you make that.
Yeah.
Now, Linda, your RISA profile states that at one point you were busy writing the second book in the Kennedy Circle of Mystery series. Should we expect to see that soon after you put book 1 back out there?
Yes, yes. I'm trying to think. I started the second book, oh my God, about 3 years ago, and got about halfway through it. I started it, in 2017, because it was the November month of Nano, and I wanted to write as much as I could. And I think I got about 3/4 through it. But you know that writing is so easy. It's not the hardest thing to do. The hardest part is then going back, rereading, editing, and you will find that if you're a careful editor, you can delete half of what you've already written. So that was where I was because Nano had me writing so fast and trying to finish the month that I had quite a bit of garbage in there that I had to clear out. So yeah. I'm also a lazy writer.
Well, my problem when I write is that I'm editing as I'm moving along.
Yeah.
As soon as I stop to take a breath, I'm into edit mode. Going back over what I just
Yeah.
That's crazy. You'll never get the darn thing written.
Right.
Anyhow, I understand that you have for the first time entered RRBC's 90-day short story writing contest, and you made reference to that a moment ago. And you didn't just enter one title, you entered to complete 2 short stories. That's pretty darn brave, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Will these be the first short stories you've ever written and published?
Yes. I've written lots of short stories. I think I've been writing short stories probably since I was 10, but these are the first ones that I will publish.
Okay. I have yet to have the intestinal fortitude to try my hand at a short story. You know? So one of these years, I'd like to do that. Kudos to you. Linda, what pushed you to enter the super fun contest this year? Like, what was your motivation?
It was time. It was time. In fact, WordPress, about 2 or 3 years ago, had a writing prompt, and I would write to the WordPress writing prompt every day. And a lot of that writing, based on whatever the word was, for me, turned into short stories. And they were flash fiction, though, not the long short stories, because I would imagine that long ones go anywhere from 7,500 words to 10,000. But I enjoyed that. So I thought when I saw this come up, well, I can do this. I can do this. And besides, I can finish up that drawer of old short stories that I've been writing since I was 10, and I can put some of those in there. But when I looked at them, they were so awful until it was just easier to start from scratch. So I think my motivation was that it was time. I like flash fiction. I think I can do it, but don't be surprised if you only see one.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Let's take a moment now to go to the gallery and see if there's any questions or comments for you, Linda. Does
Okay.
anyone have a question? Kind of wave at me and. Okay, Pat. Pat, unmute yourself. Pat.
I put all my questions in the little chat box over here.
Yeah, my little chat box on my screen this tall, so it'll take me 3 years to find it.
Okay, but anyway, I can ask them now. Linda, what do you mean by being a lazy writer? I didn't understand that. Because you write every day, and you sound very productive because you write every day. So I don't consider that a lazy writer.
I write every day now because I have a goal. But
Okay.
without that, I can just surf the net. I can just scroll through your blog. I can just scroll through Twitter all day.
Without writing.
and not write. So now I have this goal. I have a reason to write. So hopefully, yeah. But that's what I mean by being a lazy writer. Once I did a blog, and it was a very popular blog because it was 10 writing memes that spoke to me. And the first one was Idris Elba. And it was a picture of Idris with the words that say, "You should be writing." But instead, I was scrolling through the internet. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, and will your short stories or the stories that you're planning on entering in the Alpha Omega, will there be YA stories?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did I understand you to say you're going to take the sex out of the stories?
Yeah. What do you think?
If you're dealing with inner city kids, they know more than most adults know about sex. I'm sorry. I mean, if you want the book to be realistic, and if you want YA kids that are at a certain age to read it, I would leave it in there. That's my personal opinion, but I believe in bringing a story as close as possible to reality. And the reality is that it's in the schools.
Okay.
If it weren't in the schools, they wouldn't have to teach kids about the pill and every other way of protecting yourself. So why should I hide it? That's but that's only my opinion now.
Right.
It's because I go into some deep areas. I don't write YA for that reason, that I refuse to write a YA story that doesn't reflect what I've really experienced as a teenager.
Well, Well, I taught
What
high
I've
school
heard
for
other
35 years.
teenagers say they have experience.
Okay.
I agree, Pat. I taught high school for 35 years, and I agree with what you're saying about. Now, I didn't teach in inner city. I taught a very uppity up social group that went to our school, but even those kids, they knew which way was up, and the language I would hear in the hall sometimes would make my ears burn, and I always thought of myself as a Canadian Marine as far as my language is concerned. But I think, I haven't read much in the YA genre, and I'd never really considered writing one. But I would think that if the sex depicted, I mean, there's ways of putting a sex scene in a book that is tasteful,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and isn't intended to be titillating, just a reflection of a reality of something that went on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't have to get explicit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you're into porn.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
which you don't want. I wouldn't want to go there in an adult novel either.
Uh-huh.
But I'm no expert on the YA genre. Maybe Yvette's got something to tell us about that. No? Okay.
Wanda does.
Wanda.
Okay, my daughter taught in the inner city middle school for 15 years in inner city Boston, and I wrote my book with very little profanity in it because I wanted her to be able to use it with her sixth graders, and what she and I decided when I was writing the book was that if I wanted to put something in there, I needed to make it in more of a suggestive or a retrospective way rather than have it be graphic.
Uh-huh.
And some of the romance novels that I have recently read, where the that I have reviewed, I'm amazed at how skilled people are at writing those scenes. I would not want to write those scenes, but the inferred scene, as Yvette put in the chat, if you infer something has happened, or if you talk about it in the past tense where something has happened, and like talking to your best friend about what you just did, and you don't want to give them all the details, but you give a little bit of the details, the
Mhm.
friend knows what you're talking about.
Mhm.
But I can't tell my mother type of thing. And I went through the fact that I raised my niece, and she became pregnant, and while she was living in our house, and I had done everything possible. And it was while my daughter was teaching in the inner city. So, and she was like, yeah, I have seventh graders who are pregnant. So, so it was not something that, and the language aspect, it's off the charts. Some of the words that kids use and some of the abbreviations that they use, I have no clue what they mean.
Yes.
But I think that it depends. And Carl said something in the chat about it depends on what grade you're trying to go for. Like if you're trying to go for sixth grade, seventh grade, maybe you reduce it a little bit. But if you're going up to the 14, 15 to 18, the language is not. And what you also have to think about is, will the schools allow them to read it? Because with what we've just been through, there are an awful lot of parents who
Yeah.
are going in and saying, get that off of my reading list. I don't want my kids to read it. So I think that there's a way that you can handle it. And as Yvette said, inferred but not seen. So it's tough as a writer, though.
Mhm.
It's a tough job.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe you and your editor can work on crafting that.
Okay.
Well, thanks,
Yes.
Wanda. Okay, I'm going to come back to the gallery a little bit later. Linda, you are our member of the month for May. And you're also our author on the move for the May issue of the Pipeline magazine. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did these appointments mean to you?
I would have to go all the way back to the beginning to answer that. When I first joined RRBC, which may have been in 2015, 2016, I was on the sidelines and I hadn't written anything. I wasn't even blogging that much. I was blogging a little bit. And so I would just tweet and retweet and push and just had so much fun just being a member of the group and being able to participate and being somewhere where writers and authors knew my name, and it was just wonderful. So the first time I was member of the month, which might have been in 2016, 2017, it was because I was a supporter. And I thought that is so wonderful of RRBC. They appreciate readers. They appreciate supporters. You don't have to be an author. And I thought, what kind of group is this? They love readers like this, but they made me member of the month. And I thought that was just super, super awesome. Well, now come back to 2021 and here I am, member of the month. And I don't know. I feel like this time I got to earn this. I don't feel like I've done enough to earn this. So now I got to go back and start reading and reviewing and tweeting so that I really feel like I deserve this member of the month.
Well, I just checked your membership card, Linda, and you did join in April of 2014. And that means you've been in the club a little longer than me, because
Okay.
I joined in July of 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you are a veteran.
So in the words of my students, we've been rolling with RRBC a long time.
Well, yeah, and Nani launched the club in late December of 2013.
Wow.
So you came on in the first quarter.
Well, I had been looking for some place to belong because I wanted to be a writer and I wanted to be in the writing community. And I had joined a couple of groups online and they didn't post regularly. You'd ask a question, they never answered it. They would go months, the leaders of that group, without putting any new material up or anything. Well, when I saw RRBC, and I don't remember exactly how, because it has been a long time ago, when I first joined RRBC, they were on the move and they were doing so many things. They had the Push Tuesday. They had the member of the month. They had the book of the month, the member of the week, all kinds of contests and so forth. And everybody was pushing everybody. They had the tweet support team. It was just crazy. And so I said, well, I want to be a part of this and I'll just stay here and nobody will even notice that I'm here. But they did. And I thought, well, this is all right. I think I like this group. And it became a family. It's just like a family. So I love RRBC.
Okay. Would anybody else like to join in on this? Got any comments about your experience in the club? Well, Tanya, we've got a brand new member here, just joined a day or two ago. Tanya. So again, welcome, Tanya. Yeah. Okay, Pat.
Pat's trying to say something.
Trying to say, I just unmuted myself. I'm trying to say, welcome, Tanya. Nice to have you aboard.
Betty, were you waving at me too? Oh,
I was waving at everyone because RRBC really rocks. It's just a wonderful organization. It inspires us, and it gives us the opportunity to really become involved. I'm not nearly as involved as I probably should be, but you guys never give up on me. You keep tabs on me, and it's just great to be able to have these meetings. And today, just a wonderful discussion. And Linda, we're just also very proud of you and what you've accomplished and what all of us continue to do, because we inspire one another. So I'm very grateful to be part of this family.
And
Thanks,
thank
Betty.
you, Betty, because you've been with me for a long time.
Okay, we're getting kind of close to the end of the half hour. Linda, I got one final question for you. Since you're a guest here on Buy the Book, tell us why we should all run out to buy your short story or stories when they are finally published. Will the writing be so good that we won't be able to pass on them once we've read the first 4 or 5-star review?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to run it past my critique group. Yvette, are you there? If my critique group is still active, I'm going to run it past them.
I'm here, and you can absolutely send it to us. We will definitely take a look at it and help you out.
Okay, all right. But I've got a great critique group, so I'm going to run it past them first. But you're going to buy this book because, first of all, it's very inexpensive. It's going to be so cheap. And then secondly, it's going to be so good. You're not even going to believe that a book that good would be that cheap. And
It's gonna knock our socks off.
and besides, you're going to buy it because you're RRBC, because you know I need you, and because you know that I'm going to buy yours. And that's just what we do at RRBC.
Right on.
Okay.
Well said. Well said. Okay, Linda, the clock has run out on us. So I'd like to thank you for joining us here today on Buy the Book and allowing us to get to know you better. And you've just been a marvelous person to sit and talk to today. Now, Member of the Month is one of the hottest seats in the house, so you must be even more awesome than we know you to be to find your way into that hot seat. Guess there is no other organization that we know of that can compare to RISA. There are many societies of authors and writers, but how many of them command your best writing in all areas of your platform? None that we know of. With the others, you pay a fee, and just like that, you're on the roster, and you pay that fee annually. As a member of RRBC with RISA, you pay a one-time fee, and then, as long as you're a member of RRBC, you're also a member of RISA with no added annual fees. If you'd like the recognition of belonging to a society of authors who really do work hard to produce the best, make application to RISA today. Ask any of the RISA members here how it feels to be on the roster. I guarantee there'll be great pride in their response. To my studio audience, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Buy the Book. Your support is always appreciated. You really do make these shows extra special, and today was no different. Remember, if you miss a live show, you can always find the episodes in the archives on the RRB site. I'm your guest host, John Fioravanti, thanking you for joining us for another episode of Buy the Book, a Rave Waves production. Be sure to join us again for another episode of Rave Waves, where all things literary are our passion. We'll see you next time. For now, try and stay safe.
Yes.
Hopefully we can throw away our masks.
Yeah.
Although they've been given the green light to remove those masks somewhat, let's not go overboard. Be careful.
I
Right.
agree.
Still a pandemic on the other side of the bar door.
Right.
Have a great weekend, each and every one.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
John. Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
This was great. Thank you.